From the Vale of York to Lower Wensleydale, between the North York moors and the Yorkshire dales, there's some lovely countryside and adventures to be had. We're looking at 4 great places to stay, some B&Bs, some holiday cottages, some with pitches for camping and caravans, and a couple of great places to visit, the romantic charm of Jervaulx Abbey and thrills in the treetops. Our first stop is Millclose Farm, a working farm near Bedale, built in the early 1600s with a few later additions.
A couple wrote to me to say thank you, and she said one of the joys was lying in bed in the evening with the lights off, the windows wide open. It was a warm summer evening, and she could hear the cattle in the field pulling the grass. And she thought that was just perfect.
Guests at Crakehall Watermill stay in the miller's house, overlooking the lovingly restored mill.
Particular property dates back to the 1700s, as does the watermill out there. The watermill stands on a site of a mill mentioned in Domesday.
Catherine Raw was born here at West Leas Farm and moved back when she married.
So there isn't many people who've only lived in 2 houses in their lives.
Her terrace of holiday cottages, the granary, the archway and the byre have views down towards the farm's wetland conservation area and the village church in the distance. Ian and Carol Burden have owned Jervaulx Abbey since 1971, and they run Park House B&B just across the road. And many of their guests will be visiting more than one abbey.
Just recently, there's been quite a few just doing an abbey run sort of thing.
Also, something we'd like to encourage are things like botany and photography and artists.
Visitors to this area on the edge of the Yorkshire Dales come for the serenity and majesty of the countryside. But not always. Aerial Extreme, part of the Camp Hill estate at Kirklington.
It starts off nice and low to the ground. We're about 10 foot off the ground when you first start, and there's basically lots of different challenges like tight ropes, rope bridges, we've got leaps of faith, so jumping over gaps, all sorts really. Obviously if you're up there and you're on the little platforms, it can feel a lot higher.
That really is the whole point. Patricia Knox.
Some guests come for a weekend, perhaps a stag weekend, or a group of girls to have an exciting weekend and would go there.
Our age range is basically from 6 to, I think the oldest that's been on now is 69, but there is a record to be beaten there. So.
And it's certainly not a challenge that Catherine at West Leas has taken up.
I have no head for heights. My sons have done it, yes.
Staying on a farm can allow you to get to know the animals at close quarters. At West Leas Farm, Catherine's peaceful caravan site looks over the field where Reddy and Blackie contemplate life.
Reddy is a red Limousin cow and Blackie is a Dexter Cross Limousin. Reddy this year had a calf called Nobby, who was named Nobby after the local farmer who shot up to help us deliver him.
And then there are the walks.
We provide a map which shows all the fields on the farm, and we highlight where the stiles or where the gates are so that you can do a circular walk, some of it on public footpaths, but some of it where we're quite happy for you to walk around the farm.
There can be few B&Bs that not only make their own bread, but make it from the flour they've milled themselves.
We sourced some local grain, not far from here, about 3 miles west of here. A farmer supplies us with grain, and so we low miles, local food, and we're able to produce 100% stone ground wholemeal flour at the moment.
Staying in a rural property offers an individual experience, and there's a huge choice from campsites to self-catering right up to top-end B&B.
It is nice when people come in and say, oh my goodness, what a lovely room, we've been so comfortable here. It's very satisfying, and it makes it all worthwhile because you do feel people have come and relaxed and they're recuperating, have enjoyed themselves, and yes, it's all part of it for me that I enjoy sharing my home with people.
And when it comes to neighbours, how about the ruins of an historic Cistercian abbey?
It's a different form of diversification. We used to farm over 700 sheep, and now we're trying to farm visitors. trying to fund all this lot. We used to own 4 houses with roofs on. We've sold all those to keep the one abbey going without a roof.
There are some lovely abbey ruins in Yorkshire, but few with the charm of Jervaulx, which relies purely on the honesty of its visitors for its upkeep.
Well, it's a place of serenity, tranquility. It's a place where you can just wander down, just come and find yourself.
4 very different places to stay and 2 very different places to visit, depending on whether you want to chill out or chase the thrills in this lovely part of God's own county.